I give myself some time to let people come in and for me to find myself. So come on in, and this is what I'll be working in today. Glad you could join me. If you haven't been here before, glad you could come by. And if you've been here before, glad you came back. So let me just see if I can find myself here. And in my own YouTube channel. Looks a little silly right at the moment. Don't know if anybody else is here. Just give me a second. I'm having a bit of a time. So I hope, how's everybody doing? Don't know if there's anybody here. Don't see anybody yet. I'm a little early. That's good. That's good. Like I said, I'm a little early, so I'm not uh, I'm not too worried about anybody not being here. I'm just gonna keep chatting to myself because I wanted to make sure I was here on time this time. So here we are. And yes, I came on early just to make sure that I've got everything set up so that everybody can see things correctly. I think that's going to be good. I have some juice in case I get a little parched. And I've got my book in front of me. My paints have been a little bit wetted. I got a clean, well, maybe not so clean brush, but I got clean water and my little palette. So, yeah, I know I started a bit early, Jim. But it gives people time to come in too, so that's why I did it. And like I say, it gives me time. Thanks, sweetie. So, I think one of the first things that I'm going to do today while I'm here is see this little booby down here. A little bit of overflow of the water. I'm just going to see if I can remove a little bit of that while I'm waiting for people to come in. And I do that. Where's my cloth? There it is. I have a couple of cloths that I keep around to sop up water with. And what I want to do is saturate this area right here with some water and see if I can lift some of that paint. Doesn't always work, but I can go over it with something else. This is a pretty dark color just to try and lift. I've done it with smaller spots. I can see it's getting lighter, but I don't want to put too much water on and work it too much because then the paper starts to break down. So I'm just going to give that, a little bit there. There we go. That'll be easier to fix later. And I've decided that I think I want to do her kind of a green in her cloak. So I'm going to load up some of my green. And I have my color chart here. I think I'm going to start with this sap green because it's a lighter color. I can darken it with either the hookers or the sap green deep will look good with it. I could even go into the forest green if I need to. So that's where I'm going, is with my sap green in the Kuretake Kansai Inktense. And it's this one. Just loading up my brush and gonna plop it in one of my little trays over here. And I'm putting some extra water in there too, just so so it's a little bit diluted. That's the one thing with the Kuretakes, is they are quite intense, and they are almost like a gouache in that a number of the colors have almost an ink or a chalky background. So the more intense you do it, you can get some very shiny outcomes if you put it on thick. And then you can't put your pencils over top of it. So I tend to go quite light to start with. I have some ideas as to how I'm going to treat this fur. And that'll be towards the end. I think both of them are going to be somewhat of a darker fur. I'm not sure. Right now, I'll just get this little bit of a base color down. So come in and say hi. I've got my, I can see what's going on my screen off to the side. If you haven't been before, come on in. My name's Jane. The channel name is Living Skies Coloring Creative and Vintage, and I like all of that. So that's why it's got such a long name. If you haven't been here before, thank you for coming. And if you have been before, thanks for coming back. You must like the little bit of craziness that I do here. Nothing too serious. Lost my water. Almost put that in my juice. So yeah, I did start a bit early today. I was getting a little anxious that I was going to miss my deadline, so instead of doing something else, I just started. So if you haven't missed much, I was just trying to do a little bit of erasing on this little bit of blue down here, and it has gotten a little lighter. And now I'm just starting to base in this coat of hers that I decided that I will do green. So I'm gonna wait for a couple people come in. There she is. There's Chris. Yes, hi again, Chris. Yes, I started a little early, but I haven't gotten too far. I haven't talked about Mexican sushi yet. But there we are. So glad you could come back. Just basing in this this page, finishing that, and then we'll work a little more on some of the boat details, I think, today. Yeah, there we go. So yes, I really enjoyed the food when I was down there. But you know, I would say on some of those large buffets and everything that they serve us at the resorts, and they are beautiful, Chris. That if you can't find something to like, then you really have a problem with food. But I always enjoyed the Mexican sushi. I love the Mexican food when it's done their way, your way, original. Like, give me the true taste. But yeah, your ingredients are local, and there's avocado. With that comes in some of those rolls, anyways, like the California roll, and then mango. And, as long as I've got some fresh fish and things like that in there, I am happy. And there's certainly lots of that on the eastern side of the coast where I go. I go over just south of Cancun. That's right. I like to taste the food of the country that I'm going to. I don't want to go there and eat hamburgers and fries and things like that. I want to taste, what stuff is supposed to taste like, not the reproductions that I can sometimes get up here that I enjoy. But still, it's nice to have the authentic one. So what did I? Oh yeah, I lured that up with a little green again. I better just put a little more in these shady areas of her jacket. And I think that's about all that I'm going to do with that. So I'm going to work on the ship. And that's my goal today. Maybe do a little bit on the sails. So I'm getting my, did I put that away? Yes. Yes, I did. Just grabbing my brush case here. And I think what I'm going to do, because I'm going to do some of the details, but first I'm going to do some of the sails, and then I will do the strips across. So, for my sails, I had kind of used some of the paint that was on my tray already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in back some more of this rose beige and probably some of this burnt sienna to create some shadows here. But I do already have this little bit of brown. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing that. This little bit of brown that I'd already been using on the oars. So I will probably use that to start with and maybe add some burnt sienna to it just to give it a little different color. So there we go. And I'm going to work this way because I don't want my hands to always sit in the water. And I know that if I want, I could take my hot air dryer that I've got there, that I use mostly for collage because it can dry the glue quite fast. I'll put that in there. The only thing that's wrong with that rose beige is it's got a lot of like white paint in it, and it's very opaque. And I want it to be more watery than that as I apply it. So I'm going to add a fair amount of water just to this palette also. I'm going to add a little bit of that brown to it. Then let's see what happens here. It's not giving me enough of a difference. There we go. Put some water in there. I think that's more what I'm looking for. Oh, well, not with a big hair in it. Not with a big hair in it. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Let's put some of that burnt sienna in there. Let's see if that'll work a little better on that. There, that's a little better. I want to make sure those sails are wet too. There we go. Almost like a tea stain. Suck up a little bit of that. There. Oh, well, that's good. So it's lunchtime now for you? It's past lunchtime. It's like 2 o'clock for me, or just past. And that was lunch you said you were getting, wasn't it? Where in Mexico are you, Chris, by the way? East Coast, West Coast? You must be on the West Coast if it's lunch. And just wetting down these sails again on the next one, so that the paper's ready for the paint I'm going to give it, and hope it spreads. Now you can see the water is even tinted a little bit from the paint I had on the brush, but that just all works out for me. I like happy circumstances, and I love painting and finding things in my painting as I'm going along. And that can only happen if you allow the paint to do what it wants to do, instead of trying to force it sometimes. Sometimes I will, like I know how it should behave. Normally eat between 2 to 4. It's 2 p.m. Ah. Oh, okay. Driving north from Mexico City. Alrighty. I haven't been over in that area yet. But yes, that's kind of like also the hot time of the day, so you might as well go in and eat rather than go in at noon and then go back out again just to be in all the heat. That makes sense. I can see, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but even through the sail, I can see the little outline of this house. So when I go in there, I'll have to make sure that I paint in that house a little bit too. The more you get into these things, the more you see. And those are sails on the boats on the other side. So I'm just going to continue with this boat's sails first. Get them done because they're going to be the most prominent and the most colorful. Teeny tiny house. Oh, hey. You don't need a big house. My house is a little too big right now for just the two of us. But it's home. Or if I do move, and I'd like to move out to BC, where a lot more of my family is. There we go. But yeah, sometimes a big house is just too much. Now, hey, I can spread out and, I've got my own little room now that I can do this in. And it works out good with me back at work for 4 hours a day. Gets me out of bed, gets me up and doing things. Being retired isn't easy. You gotta find stuff to do. And I could, sit and color all day, but that's maybe not what I should be doing. Though it would be fun. We're just going to keep going with these sails. Put my water on, and then come back and overlay just another layer of color on that outside edge. And we'll see how that works. Trying to keep my eye on. Yeah, the cleaning part of it, it's a drag. That's for sure. But I guess if you kind of get at it regular, it isn't so bad. These ones are getting a little closer, so I'm maybe not trying to stroke it as much as I was up there. Just trying to get this to flow on this wet paper a little more. Give it a little wet more. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. When I was down in Mexico the last time, when I was down in Mexico the last time, I took my Inktense and a little sketchbook. I didn't take any coloring books, but it was great just to sit, go for a swim in the pool, and then go and sit in the sun or in the shade and just draw or color to my heart's content. That was a wonderful vacation. And they, served me well. I had great food, great drinks, lots of entertainment. So yeah. Yes, Chris, it was a good show. And I'm sorry I was a little late. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it, but I got the notification for your live yesterday. I got it last night. I'm trying to find your live and I'm going, it's not there. it's not there. And then I checked that out and it said 18 hours ago. And I went, whoa. It said, Chris is live now. And it was 18 hours old. Or something like that. Anyways. YouTube's gone crazy. YouTube view. Loved your show yesterday and this morning. Or this morning, I guess. It wasn't yesterday. Did I see you yesterday? Or was it the day before yesterday when you were talking about Crayolas? Oops, there's my water. Don't put your brush in your orange juice. Okay. Oh, it was both. Alrighty. Sometimes I don't trust my memory so much. Try and keep way too much in there some days. That a little more water there. Yes, and I saw you at. Oh well, thank you, View. Hi, Ivy. Glad you could come over. Yeah, I saw you over at Annika's too. That's where I saw you also. You don't talk so much over there. Me, I will gab away and chat. I'm not the best yet while I'm doing my lives because I still feel sometimes like I'm talking to myself, but I try and keep talking. Gay community most impulse. Ah. Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice. I understand that gated communities probably would be of a concern for you too, Chris. I hope none of that that stuff that was going on the last little while was affecting you too much. Forgot which one I just put water on. I had to touch it. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just wetting my paper here where I want to apply some more of this tanny color. Tawny, and let it go. I think I love listening to her, and she's got some good advice. You know, and about how to do things, and certainly some of her coloring is gorgeous. But we all learn things from each other. Oh, that's good that you weren't directly affected. You know, I just hope it doesn't affect the country's tourism for a long time. And it wouldn't surprise me if someone north of you had caused some of that also. Not me, the one south of me, north of you. Yeah, I love my American friends. I do. Just sometimes your government scares me, especially what's going on right now. But I'm going to get off of that. That's not why I'm here. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be doing that. Forgive me. Anyways, back to the painting. So I'm just adding a little mix of that rosy beige, natural, no, it was the natural beige I took, and a little bit of the burnt sienna that's been watered down quite a bit now, and just adding here to give myself a little bit more delineation on the sails. And then just seeing where the water takes it. A little more there, and a little more there, and a little more there. Yes, back to coloring. And yes, I do think that a lot of people there are scared also. So, and I feel very sorry for the families that have learned some bad news. So, I actually was, nah, I'll get off it. I'm just going to try and do in behind here, which should be a little darker. So I'm just going to take a little bit of blue. Yeah, the Kuretake acts like a watercolor, but you can see how it's dried in my pen here, how shiny it is. If you put a big layer down, it will get very shiny, and you can't put any coloring pencils over top of it. So I will use mine diluted. I tend to bring the colors I want to play with over to my plate, mix on there, because I have lots of colors over here that I can use. And this one right here, I just want a little bit darker in between the sails there for the sail that's behind. But other than that, you know, I think they basically will work pretty much the same as any other watercolor. Now the Inktense, I have the pencils. I don't have the blocks, so I tend to use them where I will color on the page and then spread them. Now I did use some Inktense last night on a Kirby page that I was coloring over top of regular wax pencil crayons, and it's got a nice effect. I think, yeah, here, I've got it right here. So this is what I was playing with last night. In this background, I'd put pencils in behind, and then I put Inktense over top and activated it. And it turned out pretty good. So that I'm working on right now. I put down Inktense first and put pencils on top of that. Yeah, I think in the pans or the blocks it would be better than the pencils, but the pencils were readily available and less expensive for me to get all the colors to at least try it out with. Because I'm a girl, like, I don't want to just try one or two. I want to try all the colors. You know? There. Just pull that a little bit. That's the sail that's in behind. Now the what I like too when I'm coloring with the pencils is you can actually mix a couple of colors like right on your coloring page, and then when you activate them, they really just fall together nicely. Which one that's in the back? Just using up this little bit of darkness here for in here. That's the only thing I don't like about these books. Is I don't like how they do the seam. It's just you miss some of the picture for sure. And I don't want to put a whole bunch of water in there because I don't want the book to fall apart. But that'll do for now. Then save. That's a good idea too, Chris. But I was wanting not to buy on Amazon. I was like wanting to buy from my stores, and they didn't have all of those there. So there you go. I try not to support some of the big box kind of companies. If I can buy local, I do. You punched a small. Well, it's gonna sink, View. What were you using? A marker? One of those markers that you hate? Yeah, that one. That's the one I thought you were talking about. Is that what you were talking about? Why you were so mad at them the other day? Okay. Okay, there. I'd missed that part of your show or why you were so mad. I came in partway through your rant. Now this one I'm just putting a lot of paint on it because I want it to be a little darker in the end. And it's interesting, I can see the poles in through it, so these sails are very thin. Or that's what the artist is probably trying to tell us, is that they're very thin. Oh dear. Okay. Well, anyways. Always fun. Always fun. So hope you guys are enjoying your Sundays. Anyways. I'm gonna do this for a little bit, and then I got some laundry going. The Angry Colorist. Yeah, got some laundry going. Oh, there's some sales down there. And then I've got to probably get some supper on. Did a few other things before I started washing. I watched you view while I was having my coffee this morning. A little grayer. So I don't know how much color theory everybody has, but did you know that as you look at items in the distance, they don't become darker, they become grayer. Yes, that was good. They become grayer and less bright. Do I have? Yes, I do. I'm just going to clean this brush off a little bit. Got clean water coming out here. I'm just going to... I was trying to erase this great big blotch of blue down here. Move that up. So at the beginning of the show, this is what I did. And I'm just seeing if I can take that up a tiny bit. So when I come back over with another color, it's not going to be too bad. Yeah, if you kind of gray out, use the colors that you're using, but just add, you know, just add a little bit of a gray tone, a purple tone, a dark blue tone, or something to it. You don't have to get out the gray to do that. That one's a little strong. I'm just trying to give this a little more definition back here. And I do that by adding a little more color after it's dry. And this here, this will actually get more defined when I do the boat in the front. Go. There we go. Kind of like how this sail has come along. See, it's a little bit of cauliflower in there. I'm trying to, I like when paint and paper do their thing. Miko, eh? Is that a name, Miko? Or does that mean something else? I want to now put a little bit of Indian red in that mixture there. Oh yes. That was probably a bit too much to start with, but I'll water it down. And then I'll come back here again. Give the sail some color. A little bit at a time. Miko. Oh, okay. Ah! Yes, equivalent to Michael. That makes sense. Michelle, Miko, Michael, Miguel, Miguel? Now I'm not adding more water to the sail because I've added the water and the paint, so the sails themselves I can still feel are a little damp, so that's fine with this little bit. Yeah, Miguel, yeah. A little bit of French helps me with a little bit of Spanish. So many words are very close. And then others you just have to kind of know. Miguel Angel. Don't know that I'm pronouncing it right, but there you go. That's me trying. Continuing with my sails. Red sails in the sunset. That's an old song. So I'm just continuing with my sails. Now I was gonna, did I bring it upstairs? Nope, I bet you I left it downstairs. I think I did. I had my, I was gonna show you my little Sharpie pen that I use. I've shown it to View before. It's when I do hair at the end to get the strands, I tend to use a Sharpie extra fine point very lightly, and that'll help me with the eyes and the eyelashes. It's a tiny point. Once it's down, it's not going to move. It's an alcohol pen, so don't press hard. Don't try and color big areas. That's not what it's for. It's just for little tiny lines. So okay. I'm laughing at the special combination of sounds. It just kind of like made me think of something funny, so. But I'm sure that's what I was thinking is probably not what Chris was meaning. So there you go. Well, that's not too bad. I'm just going to add that tiny bit of water on there. There we go. So yeah, this is, I have to say, one of my favorite books, though I am having a lot of fun with that Witch Cat one. And Chris, yeah, you'll have to let me know when yours comes in. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the second one is probably the same paper as the first one. I can't see why she would change publishers, and certainly the cover and the size of it looks exactly the same as the first. But surprisingly smooth, which, you know, for pencil crayons, I didn't think would be really what people would be looking for, but my pencils just glide across. Hi, Rhonda. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. glad that you could come by, and if you're interested in coloring and coloring books and that type of thing, come on back. We'll be doing all sorts of stuff, and I like all sorts of creative things and vintage. Wearing a few vintage items, my jewelry. Not that I made them, but I love to wear them. Yeah, so nice to meet you, Rhonda. Coloring in a book called Find Color by Gugeli. Not really sure how to pronounce that name. But it's a beautiful book. And the paper is, if you're a colorist, it's the kind of paper that we love. It is, and it gets your mind off of a lot of things. Because you start concentrating on what's in front of you. And everything just drops away. I do that when I'm reading a book too. Do you find, like, I can read a book and just get absolutely lost in it. And hours will go by. And then I'll come up and go, oh, I guess I'm hungry. So yeah, I've been, this isn't coloring, it's definitely watercolors, but this book actually has such nice paper that it's worth using your watercolors in if you would like to try. And I just have to kind of get the sails to where I want them before I start doing any of the additional details on it, because me going through it with so much water will just ruin all of the other details. So this one, I'm just going to take a little more of that red and just pop it in there a little bit. Because I think that's this boat. That's better. And I'll take a little bit of that red again for this next sail. More water on there. For this one in back here. Yeah, I don't want to force my book completely flat open. I've done that with some of these before, and then your pages start falling out. So I will just put up with this for now, the way it is. With this seam that goes right down the middle of the picture. There, that's better. Yeah, say hi to Rhonda, guys. Meet Chris, meet View, Rhonda. If you're new here, don't be shy. Come say hi. I think Ivy's still here too. Might have done this one just a little too dark. So I'm just gonna lighten it up a bit. Pulling some of that color off. There we go. That's a little better. Don't want it quite as dark as the one in behind. Oh yeah, it would be. And then still it's, you know, not quite the same. So I like the book the way it is. I can put up with it. Not all the pictures are double-sided. Not everything falls in the cracks so dastardly, so annoyingly. Oh, no, I want a little more red on that one. A little more color in there. Yeah, there we go. There. That part of the sail, that part of the sail, that little tiny part of the sail. Hi there, Firehorse. We were talking about the seam in the middle of the picture of these books that gets annoying because it's not, doesn't allow you to kind of see the picture the way you should. So that's what we had been discussing and saying it was annoying. We can live with it because it's such a gorgeous book. And so fun to play in. And we're both working on the same coloring page, except we're attacking it differently. Yes, the theme. What Jane said. Oh, okay. But that's what we had been talking about. So there we go. So thanks for coming by, Firehorse. Thank you. This is the book called Find Color by Gugeli. Still haven't quite figured it out. But that's the artist, and I had such fun doing a watercolor in this book the last couple of pages that I've tried to do this in watercolor again. I've done a number of pages in here using pencils and other mediums, and now a couple of pages with watercolors. Okay, I think that might be, I don't know if I want them more intense than that. I'm going to sit on that. I'm going to do some wood. Let's get some wood painted. Really dark brown over here, and I'll use some of that kind of red sail stuff mixed in with my dark brown, and let's see what happens. Oh yeah, the paper just works so well with it. What's that? Goober. All right. This is kind of a more of an intense red color, so I'm going to, not red, but I'm going to use them on these shady parts of this beam here right now. More of the dark brown. There we go, that's better. There. So I hope everybody's having a good day, enjoying themselves. I am certainly enjoying myself. Giving myself a little break before I get back to laundry and cooking. Right? If we don't look after ourselves, who does? I'm just going to put a little bit of that brown down there because the hull of the boat reaches down there a little bit. Oh yeah, being sewn makes the whole difference. Like, I don't think I could have gotten away with as much water I did without being sewn. I can see the threads on this one has actually turned the color of the blue and the paint and everything else that I put on that one. But yeah, it worked really well on that. So we're trying it again. And this part up here, that's the underside also. That goes all the way down here. And that's what I mean when I talked earlier about defining these sails down here, that the edge of these sails will get defined a lot by the edge of this boat, which will get darker as I continue to paint. Gonna do the same color on those two. Yeah, the glue can. I've had a couple of really nice glue books that I've had to put tape in because the pages are coming out just because I have used too much water probably in some of them. Well, that's just the way it is. And I'm just using my, this is just Artex Artistro water brush I'm using right now. It's not even a thin one. I probably should switch to a thin one actually, because I want to do some of this woodwork up there. So give me a second. I'm just going to put that down. Put the lid on. See what I can find in my little brush bag. Because it's getting tiny. Don't want it too tiny. I have an itsy bitsy teensy tiny one. That's for like doing eyelashes. Here. I think one of these two are gonna probably work. Yeah, I'll just get them a little wet and see what their tips are like. I'm gonna use this one first. This one's a little tiny. Oh, and that's a shame. Yeah, this is better. Okay, Chris. Don't you worry. Holding my breath as I put this paint down. Probably shouldn't have done something that skinny to start with, but that's all right. These won't get a lot more paint added to them. Just more paint to maybe fill them out a bit in shape. But because they're kind of not the main focus, I'm not going to worry too much about extreme detail. Yes, I can draw as well as paint. I have done some of my own drawings. I'm just trying to see if I've got anything close by. It's just drawing. Here I go. See if I have some drawing stuff in here. Oh, this is kind of a sketchbook fun thing. Where did this one go? So, more of a sketchbook. There's a few facial drawings. Oh, did that one. But that again, that's got some Neo 2s and that in there. But I drew the face to start with. And this one. And then just added color and that to it later. But yeah, I also do a lot of collages and things like that. That's another one I did. Trying to recreate some of that. So they were a lot of fun. That's my kitty cat, or a kitty cat. So yeah, just some different studies. I like that. I saw an elephant in there. I like him now. Just use some. I think it was just black crayon over top. And now shells. Yeah, this is, you know, that's what a sketchbook is for. Is, oh, and I got a little thing in there. Oh, and I did that. Thank you. I like this one. And we're trying to do a different one over here. I still like my elephant. Because that's all me. And this I like this owl too. And again, just splotted paint down and thought I saw an owl and then tried to draw him in. So there we go. So yeah, I do draw. I probably should draw more. You know, and do more of my personal stuff. But sometimes that's just doesn't go well on camera. That's for sure. That's for sure. So I've got this beam right here that I'm just going to darken up underneath a little bit. What works on camera? Well, are you being facetious? Because nothing works on camera? I just, when I'm doing my own personal creations, I don't usually yak and coloring and talking to what is essentially myself is hard. So I like it when you guys ask me questions. Oh, thank you, Ivy. I'm liking how it's coming out so far too. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm determined also that I will try and do more of this on camera with you guys than that last one. I kind of got ahead of myself and was doing things off camera. So you didn't really get to see all of the details that I did. I talked about them, but you didn't get to see me do them. Yeah, chat really helps alive. What I've done before when I've made some of my own artwork, and I did that last year, not this past Christmas, but the 2024 Christmas. I did a Advent coloring, did something Christmassy and drew that every day with Poscas. And that I speeded up to be like super fast motion. People like that. They like things that they can watch usually quick. Oop. They'll spend time if they want to learn something, but if you're just browsing, most people just want to watch and go. And that's yeah, that's kind of a sad thing sometimes. Now I'm looking at this. Excuse me. Okay, this is going to be forward and it'll be dark. Because it's at the same angle as that is, and so are these rungs, and then they have a darker part beside them. So I'm going to put that in and that in. And these might be the only paint, this and the next one, that I'm going to apply to these rungs. And then I'm just going to let that dry, and we'll see how that goes. Well, I think I've subbed to you, Firehorse Art. I'm going to check. Yep, yep. I have. I haven't done much for. Yeah, I haven't done much for urban sketching, but that's something that I would like to get into. Maybe not right at the moment, because I live in Canada, and right now it's I think it was -12 today, and snowy. So not necessarily the best weather to get out and do any kind of sketching or that with. Just trying to get these base shades in underneath the railing. It's a small detail, But you'd be surprised at the difference that that will make at times. Plus 29. Yes, that's, oh, I like that, Chris. I'd be out there sunning by the pool. No pool time right now here. That's true. That's true. I do agree with that, Firehorse. And I do have some lovely views. What I like to do sometime is actually just take pictures of and then try to recreate that from my camera view. Going to be driving through the mountains in a couple of weeks, so maybe I'll take some pictures while I'm there and try to recreate some of those lovely scenes. Yeah, original photos. Your pool's crowded right now. Okay. Is it a community pool then, Chris? When the hot season settles in. Okay. So I gather it's a community pool. Hey, better than having to look after it on your own, I tell you. They can be hard to maintain, I think. Not that I've ever had one, but there's certainly not many around here because you just don't get the use of them for enough time of the year. Okay, so I am going to get with these rails here. Yeah, let me finish this railing. That's where I was. See? Too much talking and not enough concentration. There. There. Got that all the way across now. Now I can do those. Got back up to 12 degrees centigrade. Now, some of these slats are going to be almost facing directly, and then some of them are going to have the shadow actually on the other side. So I'm actually using this for shadow at the moment on these rungs. I think I'm going to come in with more of a goldy tan color on these boats to set them off, to give them a difference. And then this actually is starting one. You can see the dark there. These almost look like they're starting to change and be facing towards me, because I don't see any shadow. I'm just going to give them a little light tap on the edges. shadow on this one is going on that side. And it's doing the same on there. Little individual slats. But if I get this in now and I work sparingly with my color on those later, I should be able to not have to use too much more layers on top of these to get the effect I want. So you're in the UK. Alrighty. I didn't know that, Firehorse. Here where I am, we can go anywhere from -40 in the winter to +40 in the summer. So when I'm in the middle of the prairies in Canada, Saskatchewan. So right now, it's winter, and at -12, it isn't really that cold in comparison to our -40, but it definitely. Okay, I'm losing my posts and my spaces here. Definitely can present a challenge. There we go. That's better. I've got this filigree up here too that I want to kind of highlight a little bit. Oh, autumn's a beautiful time to be in Canada. You know, it's not too cold, not too hot, and you can have some beautiful, beautiful scenery, especially if you're on the East Coast, and you've got all the leaves are changing. But Canada is beautiful. There's always things to see, and it changes. We are different from one part of Canada to the other. Hi, so much glitter. I am working on a page in Fine Color by Gugeli, and trying to do some watercolor on it. It's such a lovely paper to actually paint on. So this is the page that this is the page that View and I decided together that I would do. Right, View? I'm just trying to get in a few little shapes here so that some of this filigree will actually look like filigree when I finish painting it in. I want to get what would appear to be some shadow in there. So just a little bit. There, that's coming along. Was so much glitter on another channel? I'm sorry. It's hard to find a time when, you don't have other people that you'd like to watch on. There's a train going by. I can hear my house rattling. Thank you. Thank you, Fire Horse. So I'm just going to kind of continue just to do these rungs in here. Then I'll do some of those paddles. And then I think I'm going to do most of the rest of the wood panels of them first. I got to do some dark low lights over here. So let's get some of these in. I forgot these little knobbies up here. I'm just going to give a little bit of brown on their tips too, so I can come back. Now these slats in here, you can see much better where the actual shading is supposed to be and on what side. Deepen that a little bit. Yes, Fire Horse Art. I'd love to be a colorist on comic books, but I think I'm a little past maybe the people they are looking for. But yes, I'd love to. If this was my job, oh my goodness. I dreamed when I was a little girl of being someone that would be able to do like the Walt Disney animated cartoons, because I thought that they were fantastic. But now they don't really use actual colorists. They use a lot of like digital art. Do it all digitally, whereas before it was all the hand painted cells. Well, thanks for coming by, Ivy. I'm glad you could stop by. And yes, we'll see you around. We'll see you around the stream, the YouTube stream. That's for sure. Try and keep up with everybody. Watching all the replays. That's what I do when I'm spending a little bit of time at work. If I don't see anybody's on at that moment, and that I can kind of do my stuff while they're working away and alive, I will look and do my replays. Try and catch up with everybody. There's so many people I want to keep watching all the time, you know. But I got my regular people that I like to drop in on, and then as I'm finding new people, I fit them into my slots. Well, I think you're a little bit more ahead of me on your painting there, View. But yeah, I said I'd like to try and do another one in the watercolor only, so we'll see how this goes. It's such beautiful paper. I can use my pencils on other things, that's for sure. Some books you can't use your watercolors in. water, water. It is and it's so much fun when you can watch people create. Doesn't matter if you watch them now or a year from now. It's still, you're still learning or can learn. And I go back to some videos just to kind of refresh myself if I'm looking for a certain technique that I want to do. Like with my oil pastels, when I was playing with them there a little while ago, I had to actually go back and look up some oil pastel um, videos. Just to make sure that I knew what I was doing. Okay. Like that. You see, I may not have to put too much paint on there except for the top of the rail. So I'll do this, make this a little darker. And I want to go around my just here on my portholes. And I'm not trying to color the square in necessarily. I'm just trying to give it the sense of it's there as a whole. There we go. And I see, okay, I've been on now for a little more than an hour. So I'm going to finish this. And then I'm going to do that there. You can see I'm kind of just doing a C shape with my brush on this, or an L shape to give you the hint of the shape of the box. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take here a little bit of that, a little bit of that again, because I want it to be more brown and not so black. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go on the outside of these and create a bit of a stain on the outside edge of the windows. And I will use some water to spread it a little bit. And this will all get reinforced again with more paint, these shapes. So yeah, that's kind of more, that's the color of the ship that I'd like to have. At least this little brush can go way into that corner, that crevice, the seam. I want to do a little of that. I'm almost done my paint in here, so I think that I'm going to call it a day. And when we come back, I'll do some more of this, of the boat. More details up in the sail, details in here, and then we'll do some more of the wood edges of that before we get back to the ladies here. I'd like to kind of finish this portion, kind of, so that'll mean doing the boat portion and the boat portion here, because I want to keep this and this uniform. I like how my sails are turning out. They're kind of a rusty orange at the moment. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get them a little bit red. Ah, thank you, Fire Horse. I appreciate that. I like black and white. I like looking at my pictures that I do in color pencil. I like looking at them in black and white and checking to make sure that my balance of values looks correct, because sometimes when things don't look right, that's the culprit, is you don't have enough lights or darks. Everything tends to get in the middle. So that's why I'm building these patiently. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to get myself moving because I've got some laundry to finish and a supper to cook. And hopefully I will see you again sometime on the YouTube stream. Either I'll be live or you'll be live, or we'll just be together chatting. So come back and see me sometime. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up before you go. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so if you haven't had a chance to do that before. And we'll see you again soon. Alrighty? Alright. Bye for now. And thanks everybody for coming by.